Live pictures this morning from Chopper 24 as we look west beyond downtown here this morning. A beautiful sunny day here. And also all eyes are looking east, though, to Ottawa as we're awaiting the latest Bank of Canada Central Bank decision, lending rate decision. Just hours away, conditions almost just right, it seems, for many dipping their toes into the market. But for nearly 14% of Canadians currently holding mortgages, this cut could be a little too late. So let's talk more about this. RE/MAX Canada's president and CEO, Chris Alexander, joins us once again this morning on CP24 Breakfast. Good to see you, Chris.
Thanks, Nick.
Good to speak to you this morning, of course, ahead of the Bank of Canada's interest rate cut. Some people have talked about a quarter point. You're thinking there may even be a half a point cut here. What could that potentially do to Canada's real estate market?
Well, we still have a ways to go before we see really robust market activity. I think we need to get in and around 4% or below 4% before we start to see really aggressive buying activity again. But all the signs are there. I mean, 76% of the markets we surveyed across Canada are expecting at least a 1% increase in prices. But affordability remains the biggest challenge for Canadians because it's not just real estate that's expensive. It's food, it's gas, it's heat, it's all of these things, and it's playing a big role on people's buying decisions.
I'm really curious, Chris, because so much of the signals that we've been getting from Tiff Macklem and the Bank of Canada is that, okay, we're in a period now of cuts rather than hikes. This is going to be likely today the third cut in a row, and there's already expectations that in October and December we're going to see a couple more, and then maybe into next year. What's the signal that sends to buyers potentially, though? Would they not be smarter to maybe wait on the sidelines and say, hey, rates are going to go down? Or is the reverse true, that maybe if the rates come down, house prices go up, so the affordability, there's like a happy medium somewhere in there?
I've always been a proponent of not trying to time the market.
Okay.
Anytime people try to do that, they end up losing. But we are in a rare moment of time for the next 90 to 120 days where we've got a lot of choice. There's a good amount of inventory. We're seeing a lot of balance in the market. So if you do want to buy, now is a really good time. And if you're a seller, you've got to be aggressive with your price. That's been the best strategy I've seen in 2024. Is a really good pricing strategy.
Yeah, that's interesting because it used to be, certainly in the 416 market, you know, price it low and then let people sort of outbid each other like mad and kind of see where things have gone. That sounds like that's changed a lot here. But when you talk about an aggressive pricing strategy, could you potentially undersell yourself, or is there, because of the lack of supplies, there's still that demand? Well,
the market will dictate what you're going to end up with. And we are still seeing multiple offers in scenarios like you were just talking about. That's where a full-time quality professional real estate agent can really help.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of sellers list high, hoping for pandemic prices, and they end up selling below market because they sit on the market. Then buyers start to think, what's wrong with the property? And if you come out of the gate with a strong price, you're going to attract a wider net.
Yeah. Now, one of the shots that we're looking at in the picture behind you anyway is the condos in Toronto. So many condos. I've heard so many stories from friends of mine who are either selling condos or thinking about selling. A lot of them really kind of getting cold feet here because that market really seems to be a struggle at this point.
In more ways than one, but there is hope. So, you know, if you're an investor right now, chances are you're, at a negative cash flow position, and that can be really frustrating.
Yeah.
Buying and holding is the best strategy when you're investing in real estate. I'm a little bit concerned because new projects have been all but seized over the last couple of years. So we've got a tremendous amount of inventory, but once the market starts to pick up, you're going to see people and investors start buying again. And it won't be long before we're in a very competitive condo market again.
Yeah.
And we've seen this time and again over the last 15 years. Once the freehold sector gets really expensive, people turn to condos, and I think that's going to start to materialize.
Okay, it's going to be fascinating to watch, and we'll see what happens with the Bank of Canada, not only today, but over the next couple of meetings. Chris Alexander, always appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Nick.